So Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 could drop at any moment now, and Charlie Intel has just confirmed that these ports got a fresh update in the PlayStation Store. And it is also confirmed that it is set to release for this month. So it's happening, and it's happening very soon. But here's the problem. Right now, if you go online and look at these ports, you are getting hit with hundreds of different opinions all at once. It's a ripoff, it's going to be dead on arrival, it's going to be hacked to bits, all of these things. It's the best thing to ever happen to COD. Everyone's got their own take, and half of them are straight up contradicting each other. So in this video, I'm not going to give you a hot take. I'm just going to cut through all of it and tell you exactly what you need to know. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where these ports actually stand. So Charlie Intel, who is the single most reliable source in the entire Call of Duty community, has confirmed that these ports got a fresh update in the PS Store. He also confirmed that it is still set to release this month, and that backend update matters because this is the kind of behind the scenes things that happen right before the game actually goes live. Now, Treyarch themselves haven't given an exact date, and I know that that's driving everyone absolutely insane. But here's the truth about that. That silence is actually completely normal for Activision. They always wait until the very last minute. They love a little shadow drop. So no date doesn't mean no game. So every credible signal that we've got is pointing towards it landing this July. And think about it from their side for a second, because it actually makes sense. These ports don't need a big marketing push. With a brand new game, they've got to spend months convincing you that it's worth buying, but these, the community has been begging for them for years. So the demand is already there, and Activision can genuinely just drop these whenever they feel like it. So that is exactly why you don't see any big countdown or trailer. They don't need one. So stop reading the silence as bad news, okay? Everything actually happens behind the scenes, the backend update, and this month confirmation from the most trusted source that we've got. It's all pointing to one direction, and that direction is soon. Okay, so my second truth, and this is one that people are actually getting really wound up about. These are ports. They are not remasters, and I need you to understand why that's actually good news. Okay, so every master means that they go in, they change things, new textures, reworked lighting, sometimes tweak maps or mechanics, and every single time Call of Duty have touched a classic COD in that way, something has been lost. It never feels quite right. The magic just gets sanded off. So a port is going to keep the game exactly as it is. It's the exact thing that you fell in love with, just running properly on modern hardware in 2026. So when someone tells you that it's just a port like it's an insult, it's not. That's the point. You don't want them to reinvent BO2. You want Black Ops 2, the real one, and that's exactly what it is. It's not a downgrade. That's the whole reason that this is worth being excited about. And look, I get the other side of it. Some people were genuinely hoping for a full remaster, shiny new graphics, the whole thing, the FOV slider, the better resolution. And I understand that, but on paper, it does sound better. But think about what's actually happening when they do that. Think about how many remasters or remakes have come out and just fell off. But with a port, there is basically zero risk of this happening because you're not touching what made it special in the first place. So for games like this where the whole appeal is nostalgia, a port is genuinely going to be the best possible outcome. That is me being honest and telling you what's actually keeping these games special. Right, let's talk money, because this is where most of the argument is actually happening, and there's a lot of nonsense flying around. So here is what we actually know. The base games are expected to be around $40 each. The individual DLC packs are going to be $10, down from the original $15, and the season pass is going to be $30. So these DLCs have been discounted from what they actually cost the first time round, and the cosmetic microtransaction stuff is still reportedly free. Now, I've seen people acting like $40 for a 15-year-old game is a scandal, but let's be honest. What does a brand new Call of Duty cost you? $70, $80 now, okay? And these two games combined give you the full campaigns, two of the best multiplayers ever made, and zombies. All of that. That is genuinely one of the best value packages in the franchise. It is not a ripoff. Is it perfect? No, but in an ideal world, the DLC is bundled in. But compared to what people happily drop on a single night out or a new game that they're going to forget in a month, this is a game you'll put hundreds or thousands of hours into. Now, here is the bit that people conveniently skip over. There is a real conversation to be had about the fact that Xbox players can already play these through backwards compatibility, and PC players have had access for years on Plutonium. So yeah, if you're on PlayStation, you're the one paying for something that others got for free, and I understand why that's kind of annoying, and that's a fair point, okay? But here is the other side of it, and this is the truth that people do not want to hear. So PlayStation have never actually had backwards compatibility at all, apart from the PS4 and PS5. So the only way to even play these games would be to dig out an old PS3 out of the cupboard. Is it ideal? Once again, no. Is it the only realistic option for a huge chunk of people? Yes, it is. And let's be real, okay? $40 to finally have all of that back. Forget the PlayStation 3, forget the glitches, forget all the bugs on your PS5. That's not a scandal. Now, this next truth is one that I have to be completely honest about. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything's perfect, because the hacking worry is a real thing, but it's also being blown into something bigger than it needs to be. So yes, these games got destroyed by hackers back on PS3 and Xbox 360. That happened, it was awful, I lived through it, okay? But there are huge differences this time, and that is the server. These ports are confirmed to be running on brand new modern infrastructure and not the ancient PS3 setup or PS3 servers. Now that alone shuts down the whole category of the old exploits that used to ruin these games. Now the biggest difference between the old PS3, Xbox 360 version and the newer version on the PS4 and 5 is that the new Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 servers run on dedicated servers instead of P2P, meaning that instead of one player's console hosting that entire match, every game now runs on a specific dedicated server. Now that means that these servers handle the match for everyone, so there is no host advantage, no host migration, and it's going to be much harder for a single modded player to affect the entire lobby. While dedicated servers don't stop every single cheater, they will make multiplayer far more stable and consistent than player hosted matches. On top of that, it's going to be much harder for people to start hacking on this game. Now, if you remember back to the PS3 and Xbox 360 days, there were a lot of mod menus that you could find in the theater mode, okay? Now, they won't be able to do that anymore because you needed to be host to use these mod menus, whereas now we have dedicated servers, hence they will not be able to use that in the game. So the real question isn't just are these servers new, it's whether Activision are going to actually keep on top of their servers after launch. Now, before I get into the last point, I want to take a second on why these two games specifically have got everyone this hype, because I think it's worth talking about. So BO2 is, for a lot of people, and I put myself in this category, the single best multiplayer Call of Duty ever made. We had the pick 10 system, we had the guns, we had the map designs, we had the score streaks, and these score streaks actually rewarded you on skill rather than just handing you kills. A lot of people, including myself, genuinely believe that this was the peak of Call of Duty and it's never quite hit the same note again. And there's also zombies, which for a huge chunk of the community is the actual reason they're buying this. We got Transit, Mob of the Dead, Origin, some of the most beloved maps ever made, with a story that people spent years trying to piece together. So when you combine the best multiplayer in the series, some of the best zombies in the series, in one package on modern hardware, you start to understand why people aren't losing their minds over nothing. Now here is the last truth, and honestly it's the one that I care about the most, because I don't think enough people are connecting the dots on this one. So these ports aren't just two old games coming back for nostalgia, they're a test. If Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 come out and they pull massive numbers, if they keep bringing back hundreds of thousands of people who haven't touched COD in years, Activision will notice this, and the logical next step is to make more of it. More ports, more classic era CODs, maybe even eventually a full classic experience people have been begging for. Now, we've already seen the first sign of this with the classic mode stuff that Treyarch have been testing. They're feeling out whether the old school style still lands or not, and spoiler, it does. So these ports doing well isn't just a win for us right now, but it could genuinely be the next thing that steers the whole entire franchise back towards what made it great. And just think about the knock-on effect that it's going to have, because this is the part that actually gets me excited. If these two ports smash it out of the park, why would Activision stop here? We've got MW2, we've got MW3, we've got original Modern Warfare trilogy. There's a whole back catalogue of the greatest COD games ever made just sitting there. And these ports are basically the test as to whether they're worth bringing back or not. We could be looking at the start of years of this, not just a one-off. So before I wrap up, I want to say one thing straight, because it ties all of this together. All of this negativity, all of the writing off of these ports before they've even launched, all of the clickbait about the game being dead, it's exhausting. But more than that, it actually matters, because if enough people talk themselves out of buying these games, if the COD sales come in low, Activision is going to read that as nobody wanted it, and we're not going to get any more ports. So that is the truth about the Black Ops ports. They're real, they're close, and that is a good thing. The pricing is fair when you actually look at it, and hacking is a fear, but not the whole story. And this could genuinely just be the start of something huge for the whole franchise. And look, I love these games, okay? I grew up on them. I was playing these games every single night after school, sometimes even before school. So I have a bit of bias, and that's completely fine. But I want you to let me know in the comments, are you going to be buying these day one, or are you going to hold off for a little bit and see what happens? And I'm going to be reading every single reply. And the second that these drop, I'm going to have a video up straight away. So subscribe if you want to be there for that. One more thing, and do not forget this. Jesus is king. He is the only one and only savior. So repent and believe in the gospel. See you in the next one.